What's up, everybody? This is Austin Cheviron, your host of the Winning Twice podcast. I got my buddy here today, Russ Laggan. This is going to be a fun, intense, fast-going conversation. What's up, Russ?
What's going on? Two times like a twice-baked potato. It makes it way better. Let's go.
Let's go, man. I just prepped Russ for this podcast in about 8 seconds. Russ, what did I tell you we were going to talk about?
Let's go.
What?
We're going to talk about the journey, baby.
We're going to talk about the journeys. The journeys. And so when I think, so every guest I have, it's like, what is inside of them that I know that's special that I could bring out? And when I think about you, I think about a lot of things when I think about you, but the one thing, what you've gone through in your growth to get to where you're at, like there's stories and chapters within all of it. And I have the same thing. And it's like, there's not many people who's gone through 1,000 miles and been beaten up and tortured along the way to then pop back out and be like, here we are. Oh, by the way, I have an idea what I'm talking about too. Yeah. So
I like to say we come by our scars authentically.
I was a keynote speaker once at an event, and the guy came up to me. I was sitting in the back. You know, I'm not the biggest talker. I talk, but I'm not. I'm sitting in the back preparing. I'm the keynote on day 2, and the guy comes up to me on day 1. He goes, "What's your name?" And he had a magenta suit on, and I'm like, "Oh my God, he's a popular. He's just going to talk my ear off, and I don't want to talk." Yeah. And so you know what I told him, Russ, to get him to stop talking to me? I said, "I'm just a guy with a big box of failures." That's what I told him. And he looks at me like I was a loser then. He's like, "Oh, that sucks for you." Well, the next day I'm walking off a stage and he looks at me. He's like, "Big box of failures, huh?" And I'm like, "How'd you think I got here?"
It's a big box. Fail forward faster. So my mantra early days was fail forward faster. And I think it was kind of my way of making myself feel better about falling on my face so many times. And I mean, I think the part of the journey thing is like, you have to understand, like you don't get to nobody gets to the top of Everest without stumbling, right? There's a reason they put ropes on the freaking mountain. There's a reason they put a harness on your ass and they strap you in, is because people freaking fall down. And the goal is to have what I didn't know, like in the early days, you don't have the harness. In the early days, you're like, I didn't know I was supposed to wear a harness. And in the early days, you're like, boy, you know, if I stuck some ropes on that thing first and then wore a harness and then clipped into you're like, well, I've got a rope and I've got a harness. I'm like, yeah, but you got to clip into the thing. I'm like, oh.
How'd you learn that though, Russ? It's not natural. How'd you learn it though?
No, I think of Wile E. Coyote. He's off the cliff, you know, you're like, he hits the ground splat and you're like, well, that sucked. I mean, we do really kind of run our life like an old school cartoon. Remember back in, it's like, you watch a cartoon like that now and you're like, man, these guys are abusive to each other. That's physical abuse. Like they need a shelter for that poor coyote. But I mean, the reality is like you fall down, go boom, right? I mean, think of a little baby learning to walk. If an adult took what they do and how they do a lot of times the way and gave that to a baby, the baby'd hit the ground one time and you're like, I'm good, never going to walk. Like, what are you going to carry your butt around, roll you around? Like you fall down, you get back up, you fall down, you get back up, you fall down, you get back up. And at some point in your education, in some point in the examples of people around you, you learn that falling down and not getting back up is acceptable.
Okay, so when I hear you say all that, what I hear is, I hear first off, years of learning, if not decades. I hear years, and then I hear multiple times in which you went off the cliff and you thought, oh crap, the cliff's no longer underneath me, and you go, whew. So give me one of your first examples in business where you learned that. Like what was the beginning or close to the beginning event that caused you to fail?
Well, I wouldn't say caused me to fail, but you want to talk about light bulb moments? Like I'm going the wrong direction with my life. Right out of high school, got a job on the railroad. My dad was a general manager. I was in the right place at the right time for a very well-paying job at 18 years old, 19 years old. And don't get me wrong, it was a hard job. I know my dad had, later in life, I find that my dad had other ideas for me, but he wanted me to start at the bottom and he wanted me to understand what the guys on the track gang were doing, pulling railroad spikes, driving Dude, I drove railroad spikes with a 20-pound sledgehammer for 2 years.
Yeah, the rails in our family too, so we know.
Yeah, old school stuff, right? Because it's a short line. They don't have machines for everything, so a lot of stuff was done by hand. So like you do 2 years of that, like So I got promoted to run to being a brakeman. So I'm on the outside. So I'm on the outside of the train like this, hanging on, rain or shine, just like the freaking USPS, right? Sunshine, rain or snow, like I'm out on the freaking outside of the car. And I was hanging on the outside. We were shoving back into one of the sidings, and the car that I was on popped off the track and it's going like this. Suboptimal, right?
Yeah.
But then it adds complication to it. Directly behind me is a train that stopped, right? So I've got train cars behind me. This thing's up into like this. And you're like, on the ground. That's the phrase, on the ground.
Yeah.
That means the train derailed. Unfortunately, like you need to know the phrase because it happens. And particularly short lines, it happens, right? It doesn't usually happen with a human hanging on the outside of it. So this thing pops off and directly behind me is train cars, right?
Yeah.
So I got, if it goes this way, I got smushed flat. It's not even going to slow down. It's just going to smear me flat. And if I drop off, I could get cut in half by the wheels. So like, what choice do you have? Well, you just freaking hang on for dear life. And I try to get around the end of it so that I couldn't get smashed. And thankfully it got stopped before anything bad happened, obviously. But it was one of those moments you're like, I don't want to die doing this. This is stupid. Like, I don't care how good the money is. Like, this is not for me. So I resigned. Like here's my 2 weeks notice. I'm done. Right.
Okay.
And it's those moments when you realize I am on the wrong freaking path for myself. And sometimes it takes a moment when you're like, I don't know. How scared is the most scared you've ever been?
I've been at the top of Mount Hood, out in Oregon.
That's pretty cool.
On a day that it would be considered a blizzard.
Yeah.
If the winds were 10 miles per hour faster.
Yeah. So 80 mile an hour strafing winds with flying ice, basically. That's very, very common at top of Mount Hood. Same thing with Rainier. 80 mile an hour winds, straight ice going sideways, and you are literally encrusted by ice. That's
on the top of the mountain. We have a catwalk that we have, and I studied this thing. I was like, damn it. Well, there's two ways to get to the top. Yeah. One was up the pearly gates, and the other one's the catwalk. Where the catwalk's 2 foot wide, down one side's 500 feet, down the other side's 1,500 feet. Yeah. And the wind's blowing 80 miles an hour, 50, so I don't even know what it was fast. Yeah. And the guide looks at me, Russ, and he goes, stay low. If the wind blows too hard, it'll blow you right off the top of this. He laughed at me. He goes, hee. And I'm like, you crazy motherfucker. Like, you are crazy. Yeah. And at that moment, I'm like, I'm done. Yeah. And so coming back, he had all the rope in his hand like this. I said, why are you carrying all the rope when we're going back? He goes, what? Here's what's going to happen. The wind's going to blow and you're going to fall. And because your cousin doesn't have a clue what he's doing either, he's going to fall too. And I'm going to jump off the other side and we're going to hang like a teeter-totter on the top of this mountain until someone comes and rescues us. And I thought when he said that to me, Russ, I'm like, I'm done. Get me. I'm fucking done. I'm done. I did not want to do this. So that's probably the scariest I've ever been in my life.
I did. I climbed Rainier in 2012. Yeah, I climbed Rainier in 2012, and I summited Rainier with a guy named Dave Hahn, who's the American at the time, the American with the most summits of Everest. He had like 14 summits.
Really? How did he let you hang out with him?
It's just special.
Okay,
he's like a special case. He's like, this guy's special, so let's go. Yeah, he would train on Mount Rainier in the off season. Yeah. So if he wasn't on expedition, he would go on that mountain because it's a great mountain to train on. And he'd just zip up and down every week for, just to keep himself acclimated, moving in the ice and dealing with dummies too, right? Because there's a difference between climbing with successful, knowledgeable people and climbing with people that are going to literally do the craziest shit and surprise the heck out of you. So, and we learned that lesson. He's like, I was with, so I was roped to another guy, big old crazy mustache and like fireman mustache. And I was like, dude, you got the fireman mustache. And he's like, dude, I'm a part-time fireman when I'm not climbing. I'm like, really? Oh, dude. He's like, dude, you called that one. So he gets me and he's like, listen, like, I'm going to be at the front. You're going to be at the back. And I'm like, why? And he goes, these three knuckleheads between us are going to fall down. And when they fall down, they're going to jerk me off this mountain. My job is to save them. Your job is to save me. And I was like, I don't know if you really have the right guy to be trusting for that. But we had done training and we'd done ice arrest. And, did you do the ice arrest training?
Maybe.
You're sitting on a steep slope like this, slopes like about like this, and you're sitting with your feet downhill and you just kind of sit there and he's like, all right, pick up your feet. And when you get up to, pick up some speed. And when you get up to speed, then you roll yourself over and you slam your ice axe into the.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. We did that.
So, so everybody was doing their thing, and they would go one guy after the next, after the next, after the next. So I like scooted back up the hill a little bit, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, I haven't been sledding since I was a little kid." So I took like 5 steps and dove head first down the hill. So I did like Superman slide. And
Yeah,
guys like,
of course
I've
you
never
did.
seen anybody run into this.
So talking about that, I actually had to do that to save my life.
Yeah.
When we were coming down, I was behind. So it was the guide, Nate, and me. The guide's the pro. Nate's in better shape than me.
Yeah.
I'm coming down and I walk around. You climb Rainier, you know not to do this. I walked around somebody else on new, fresh snow.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they talked about where trees fall and then the snow comes over the trees.
Yeah.
Well, when I walked around him, I stepped on something, and the first step I went down to my knees. The second step I went down to my about my belly button. I was going to be bye Austin.
God.
And I stuck my shovel in there, my ice pick, and I pulled myself up. And I'm like, "Fucking get me a beer. I'm done. Give me a helicopter, something. Get me off of this." Yeah, I was. So I don't know if I've ever publicly said that, but that was about the 3rd time I died that day.
Yeah, there's moments and people do that for fun. And you know, I mean, there's nothing that makes you feel more alive than almost dying.
Yes.
Like you realize like there are things that are important to you, like jumping out of an airplane. That scares the hell out of most people. I've done it a couple of times. Doesn't faze me a bit, but I also race motorcycles. So my tolerance for stupid is way higher than most people. But that translates into the way I run business too. So I got off the railroad. By the way, I got trained to be a licensed hairstylist. So I was a cosmetologist in my early 20s. I cut hair for a living in my early 20s.
What you working with under your hat right now? Let's see. What do you got under the hat there? Hey, look at that. That's thick as hell.
Yeah, dude, I got a full.
Buddy.
Yeah, you remember like 3 years ago, 4 years ago when I started with EXP, I had no hair on my head at all. And everybody's like, "Oh, you're bald." Bald jokes, right? And I was like, "No, dude, I'm not bald. I just don't have any hair." And they're like, "Ha ha ha." And I'm like, "No, my hair's just really short. I'm not bald. I just have really short hair." And they're like, "Ha ha ha." And I grew my hair back out and they're like, "You went to Turkey." I'm like, "I didn't go to Turkey." I just grew it back out. I just water it every day and it keeps on growing. It's like a chia pet.
It's amazing how that works.
It's amazing how that works. But yeah, so when you go into those journeys, it's like, I think more people don't do things because they're scared of failure than doing things. You're afraid of high levels of success or high levels of failure, right? So fear of failure and fear of success are both real things, right? So what if I do get the dream job? What if I do get the dream role? What if I get the dream promotion, you know? I mean, I ended up where I am, and there's times I'm looking back, I'm like, do these people know I have no clue what I'm doing yet? Nobody's figured out I don't know what I'm doing yet? And every time you take that step up, you feel like you don't know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Every time you start a new project, you're like, do I really know what I'm doing? And there's times in every single project and every single thing you're building and every single thing you're doing that you run into something, you're like, well, that didn't go as planned, right? Hey, Austin, have you ever made a mistake?
I've made one this morning already.
I don't agree with you. I can argue, and I think I can argue effectively. You've never made a mistake yet, ever in your life.
I can agree with you.
And your wife would disagree with me.
1,000%.
My wife would disagree with me. I've been married 32 years in 2 weeks, by the way. My wife is like, "You are wrong, Russ." And I'm like, okay, so, but the difference is like, people are like, well, I made a mistake. It's like, did you make a mistake or did you have an unintended result?
Yeah.
Because I never said, I'm going to do something I'm going to do something and get a result that I don't want. I've never done that yet. I've always done something, and based on that moment, I did what I thought was going to get me the result that I wanted. And by the way, I've been surprised a lot. And every time, it's kind of a running joke with my buddy Sean May and myself. Sean May is May Custom Bass Guitars. He and I started building bass guitars around the same time. I was a little bit ahead of him, so he would get into something and it would be like, I don't know what to do with it. So he'd come over to my shop and we'd sit down and look at it and be like, well, that sucks. Like, all right, so now what do we do? And between the two of us, we would figure out a way to salvage it, save it, whatever. And sometimes it was cutting it apart and putting it back together again. Sometimes it was doing an inlay to cover a flaw. And he's like, I got this flaw and I don't know what to do with it. I'm like, that's a perfect spot for an inlay. Now we got a detail piece. So a lot of the times, the difference between good and great in woodworking and high-end woodworking and master woodworking, the great people still make mistakes. They just know how to cover them better. The great people know how to, they still make mistakes, but they know how to make an adjustment or add an embellishment or, like you're on stage and you mess something up. And I always pause. I'm like, wow, that was easy for me to say. And I keep on moving on, and everybody kind of chuckles.
Yeah. When I hear you say that, Russ, it's funny, a lot of my work even this morning, was understanding vision and where you're going. And when you understand your vision, there's no right or wrong steps towards it. They're all moving towards it. And they just won't always work out the way you think. And it's okay, because you're dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be real. We're all dumb. We've never been there before. So why are you so smart and you think you know how this is going to work? Are you serious?
Listen, dude, I have never lived today yet.
Yes.
Today is my first time doing today. And tomorrow's going to be my first time doing tomorrow. So like, I think the beauty of life is when you get to the point where I know, barring doing something really idiotic, like off the chart idiotic.
Yeah.
Whoops, I accidentally killed my wife. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Oops. Sorry. Aside from doing something catastrophically stupid, like, so what? Like, think about, so here's the journey, right? The journey, you'll love this, right? Remember when you were a little kid and you got in a loud, you lost $1 and you're like, oh my God, I lost $1. Ah! Then you get into your teens and you're like, you lose a $10 bill and you're like, I lost $10. I thought I had you lose a $10 bill and you're freaking out. Like, and then, 4 years later, you find it in a pair of jeans that you hadn't worn for, in your 20s, $100 mistakes are, it's like, oh my God, that's $100 mistake, $200, $500, $600, $800 mistakes, a big deal. In your 30s, thousands of dollars, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 mistake, those are a big deal. In your 40s, you've got $50,000, $100,000, $1 million mistakes, right? I remember we had sat down in this conversation and I looked at another person, won't name names, CFO, and I was like, if we do that'll cost us, we'll lose $1 million in the next year if we do that. And he was like, well, how do you know that? I'm like, because I've been down this road before over $5. We had changed the cost to real estate agents in the brokerage by $5 to give them a tool that they didn't ask for. And they threw an absolute shit fit every week for a year. They're like, oh, $5, God, and then and I was like, finally, like, I'll give you $5 right now just to shut up. I'm sick of hearing about it.
Yeah.
So, and we lost hundreds of people over that. And I'm going, if we do this, you will lose hundreds of people because you will breach the trust of everybody if you do this. And he's like, Russ, we're doing it anyway. I need you to get on board. And I'm going like, this is why I quit that company. Like, I cannot, I cannot stand with a company that's like, this is going to be $1 million F up. And they're like, we're doing it anyway. I'm going like, for what? Like, why are we doing it like that? So that you don't stop making mistakes. You just make mistakes with more zeros.
Yeah, that's it. It's funny. So when you were saying, hey, when you were a kid, remember when you lost the nickel or the dollar or the $5? Anybody who knew me, who was listening to this as a kid, probably would have thought Austin's never lost any money. Russ, I still have my special nickels from when I was a kid. I literally, I guess I literally keep all my money. Shit, last night I'm up till midnight. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm up to midnight. And I'm like, I'm looking at the future for anybody, vision, finances, and this is maybe a little off topic, but I'm looking at my life for the next 6 months saying, I got about $40,000. If I can invest 40 grand in the next 6 months into these things, 2027 will be the cleanest financial year I've ever had. Now the question is this, Russ, where the hell am I going to get another 40 grand? Because I already earned so much. Am I going to work more? Do I got to create more stuff? Do I got to find new clients? Do I need, what am I going to do to get another 40 grand? But I can see it clearly.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this, 15 years ago, it was, where am I going to get 4 grand? We were on,
right.
And so you say, here's another zero. And in 10 more years, it's going to be,
400.
I just need $4 million now. Where am I going to get this? It would be 400. Sorry, you're right. I was wrong. It'd be in 20 years.
Yeah.
So I like how you say that, because that's
just add a zero to it. And I think if you're doing it right, add a zero to it. And when you start looking at what's at risk, the more you know, the more you have at risk, right? So here's one of the fundamental things, and I see this a bunch in my role, and no judgment, right? So won't name any names, no judgment, but I can tell you exactly who the people are that were scared to death when they were broke that they'd never, ever be able to pay their bills. Because you see these people now with massive amounts of dollars, and I know some of their incomes to the dollar. I could tell you, I could look it up. I'm like, I know you just made $100,000 last month. Okay, so that person, and they're still scared, right? So when they're young, they're scared they're never going to have enough. And when they've got a bunch, they're scared they're going to lose it and go back to not having enough. So the fear is still, I'm not going to have enough. Before it was not having enough from not having enough. Now it's, I got so much I could lose it all. It's like scared I'm never going to have it. Now scared I'm going to lose it and go back to never having it.
You know, it's funny. You know what I call those people?
Chicken Little.
I called them my clients.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what I work with them on. And I said it yesterday in a training, and these people that they've never trained with me, when I said it, their eyes all lit up. I could see them. I said, it doesn't matter how much you make.
It does not.
Everything in this world trains you on making more money. That's at most half the formula. Nope. It's only half once you figure out the game. And most people never get to the point where they even realize that that's only half.
Yeah.
The other half is stewardship and vision and care and investing. And if you don't get through that stuff, like, it doesn't matter. You can go from making $1,000 a month to making 100,000, and you're still going to be broke, Russ. And you're talking about it. And I can be, so it's like at some point, if you believe me or not, if you were just smart and said, hey, there's two guys here that have some idea what they're talking about, figure out your money, figure out your personal money. What do you spend? How much do you live on? Why do you live on that? What's your average for the year that you spend? What's your highs and your lows? Does it serve you? And I can tell you that no matter how much you make, you're probably not going to have enough. I'm sure there's some billionaires that outdo that phrase, but most of us.
No. And let me tell you. So I'll name a name here. God rest his soul. Dude's name, true, actual, real name, Rich.
Okay.
Last name, Laggan. Rich Laggan. My uncle, my dad's brother, quite a bit younger brother. So closer to my age than my dad's age, right? So Rich made a bunch of money, became CFO of a company called Auto Toy Store, and then they branched into airplanes, so they became Aero Toy Store. And the guy that owned Aero Toy Store is Maurice, real dude, real name. And Rich passed last year, had brain cancer and complications from that over a number of years, and Rich would go out with Maurice. So Maurice is a billionaire. He was around racing people and all the OGs of racing. So he would go to Monaco for the F1 race. So he was tied with the F1 crowd people, right? So he was always on that drive for more money, because he was hanging out with billionaires. So Rich would go with him, and they'd fly to wherever. They'd fly to Dubai to sell a private jet to one of them. And he's looking around, and he felt like he was broke all the time. This guy's making millions of dollars a year. He felt like he was broke all the time. Because when you're spending, the goal really is, and the happiness, they say the happiest is if you take your 5 favorite friends, right? And the 5 people you're closest to, take all their incomes, add them up, divide them by 5, you're plus or minus within 10% typically of the people you hang out with.
Yeah.
And if you're on the top 10% more than the 4 or 5 people closest to you, you feel like you're doing pretty darn good. If you're on the bottom of that, you're feeling like you might be making way more money than other people, but the people you hang out with make you feel like you're broke. So it really is relative, right? So you got Einstein, the theory of relativity, everything's relative. Well, compared to a billionaire, I feel like a pauper, right? A millionaire feels like he's broke compared to a billionaire.
Yeah.
A billionaire feels like he's broke compared to a trillionaire, right? So you got billionaire and they're like 4 or 5 billion. Well, that's pennies compared to 100 billion, right? So it really all does become about perspective. But the whole goal ultimately comes down to quality of life, right? Quality of life. Like, what do you really want? And why do you really want that? If you really want that because you want to be the man or the lady, right? You want to stand out and you want people to admire you for, like, I want people to admire me for who I am. Not for what I have. I don't want people to admire me for the watch I wear. Do people tell me I wear all kinds of crazy watches, right? And they're like, oh my God, that's a really good watch. I'm like, dude, I have never paid more than $600 for a watch ever in my life. My expensive watch is $600. It's cool. It's one of a kind. It's unique, but it's $600, dude. The watch that I wear all the time that I get the most compliments on has a red face on it. And the reason I wear it is because it's got a red face and the letters and the colors and the numbers and the hands. I can take a quick glance. I can see it out of the corner. I can point at the crowd and tell you what time it is, because when I'm on stage, I need to know what time it is. They don't always have a clock. So I need to know what time it is. So I wear it because I can see it. And people compliment me on it all the time. It's $100 freaking watch. And I handmade the band. I think I'm handmade leather band, which makes it look fancy as hell. But I'm like, this is $100 watch. People are like, oh my gosh, I really like your watch. That's really nice. What is that? I'm like, it's $100 watch.
As handmade half of it. Yeah.
For me, I don't care what the value is. For me, it's about living the quality of life that I want to live and be the things that are important to me. At the end of my life, I'm not going to be like, God, I wish I had another watch. At the end of my life, I'm going to be, God, I wish I'd spent more time with my dog. Right? Yeah. Gosh, I wish if I could have 4 more hours, what would I do? I'd spend it with my wife.
Well, how do you get there?
Well, it's about getting really clear on what's important to you, right? Okay. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with looking the part and being the part, and there's nothing wrong with going after the stuff. I'm not saying there's wrong with going after the stuff. I mean, dude, I drive a Porsche. You know why? Because I freaking love driving Porsches, right? Mm-hmm. And by the way, I buy them used and I only buy them cash. So like, I have no car payments, I have no house payments, I have no credit card debt ever. I have zero debt. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it took me a little while to get there. That was important to me because I know if shit goes sideways, I get shit canned tomorrow. Yep. You know, I get a call from Leo, and Leo's like, Russ, love you, dude, but like,
see you, buddy.
Man, like we're taking your hat back.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I go play for another team. Damn it, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, getting to the point where I know I'm going to be fine, like you could take my job away tomorrow. You could take all my dollars away tomorrow, but you can't take my skill set away. You can't take my drive. You can't take my ability. And you can't take my knowledge. You can't take my skill set. Right. So you could drop me back at zero and I'll figure it out. I don't want to do that. Right.
Yep.
And by the way, I don't look at paychecks. I mean, I don't look at paychecks as the indicator. I look at net worth as my indicator, right? So how much money you make, you said it earlier, how much money you make is completely secondary to the quality of your lifestyle and the net dollars you have, right? So I look at, and my wife puts together a little one page, I'm high I, super high, 98I, 98D. I keep my D in my back pocket unless I need it. And when I pull the D out, everybody's like, whoa, right?
Yeah, whoa, there's the 98 coming out.
I leave that. When it comes out, you're like, what the heck is it? Like, get shit done, right? And people are like, oh my God, you're a GST guy. So when it's time to get shit done, like freaking hammer down, right? Yeah. So, but with that said, like one page, like here's your net worth. Every quarter, it's like total it up, account, nets. And I factor 0 for my cars. I consider my cars worth nothing, right? So it's just house, investments, cash in the bank.
I call it my, actually I talk about it in the money puzzle. I call it my island money.
Yeah.
And what I teach everybody is that you need to know your net worth. So if all shit hit the fan and you're just like, screw it, I'm taking a break from this world, and you sold everything you had, how much money are you taking to the island with you? It's your island money. What goes
in the suitcase, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, like income's secondary, right? So I'm making less money than I made. I'm making way less money than I made in 2015, 16, 17 when I was cranking 130, 140, 120, 143, 127, 136, 105, 127, 4 years,
Yeah.
Just 480 something closings in 4 years, right? So when you start doing the math on that, like how much money did you make then? A lot, right? How much did you keep? Well, a bunch of that was playing catch up, and a bunch of that was business. And so you get to the end of the day, and you're like, I'm making way less dollars now, but my net worth is 3 times what it was then.
Yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about it last night. I stayed up a little late working on financials and vision and preparing for my talk with you. No, but I started to think. I was looking at my income, and I'm like, man, normally, 10 years ago, I had in 2016 was my peak in real estate sales.
Yeah.
And you would have thought my income would have just kept going like to the sky.
Yeah.
Well, it was a conscious choice over the last decade to take more control of my life than income. So I took control, gave myself the freedom of location, working on the freedom of time, and got the freedom of money. And now it's like, I don't know how much I want to do. I kind of like just hanging out sometimes. And I will say, full disclosure, everybody, my investments make me more a year than I personally make.
So there you go. Right. So do you need
full disclosure? Yes, so you got to get there.
So I talk about in my book, I talk about the 5 phases of a career.
What's your book? Tell us your book.
5 stages of a career. So this is Be Followable, the book. This is the original. I've got a couple of original versions.
No, that's original. Yeah.
The new version actually has my puss on the front of it. So they made me do it. They're like, you're a brand. Your look is the brand. People recognize that. They'll be like, I don't know that, but I know that. I know the dude with the vest, right? So rare sighting me without a vest and a tie.
Is very rare.
So with that said, the 5 stages, like the first stage is like, I just need to make money, right? And then once you get to the point where you're doing the money thing, then you move the bar, right?
Yep.
And then you get to that number and you move the bar again, and then you make it and move the bar. And then at some point you're like, okay, this number's good. Like now I want my time back. It's like phase 2 is like getting control of your time.
That's when you get to phase 2. Things are changing.
Time control, right? So you start going like, okay, what's really important to me, right? Am I willing to sacrifice everything else, right? And a lot of people are like, well, I missed my kids' games. I missed the kids. I don't want to miss my kids' stuff. I don't want to miss the event. I don't want to miss dinner I don't want to be interrupted 17 times on dinner date night with my wife, right? That is absolutely untouchable time. So you start saying like, it's not worth you and what you're doing and the money that comes from you to interrupt this. So time becomes your most important commodity. And then once you get those two in balance, you run for a little while. And as you're doing that, and then you start thinking, well, like, how long do I want to do? Okay, now I got these. Like, how long do I want to do? I don't want to do this till I die. Okay, so how long am I willing to do this? So then that third phase is freedom, right? And freedom isn't retirement. A lot of people is like, retirement is exit. Freedom is the moment when you're like, I don't have to do this. I'm doing this because I want to do this. So technically, I could stop now and I could figure out a way to make it. Can I live the lifestyle that I want to live? Pretty close, probably. So I got a little bit more because I'm not quite there yet, but I'm pretty damn close. Can I tell everybody to F off and I'll be fine? Yeah. Does that feel pretty damn good? Yeah. And now at that moment, then I'm like, okay, well, I have freedom. I don't have to do this. I'm doing it because I want to. I need to do more to get what I want to do. But I don't have to. So now what? Like, I want to make a difference, dude. Like my whole mantra the last like 10 years is like, make a difference in this world. From 14, 15, it was make the biggest freaking difference you can. And every move I've made, look at what I'm doing now, is not money moves. It is moves saying, I need to make X amount of dollars, of course. And don't get me wrong, I make decent money. But it's not about the money. It's can I make a difference, right? So the moves I have made, you look at them and you're like, why would Russ do that? Bigger platform to make a bigger difference. Mm-hmm. That's it. More effect and more ability to touch more lives. And that's the motivation. So this is phase 4 is building legacy. And once you've got a legacy built, and I would say, you've already built a legacy, right? If you drop dead today, people will be like, that guy changed my life. Okay. I've already built a legacy. So now what the phase 5 is kind of fun. And Glenn Sanford's in phase 5, firmly in phase 5. He's like, why is that guy doing anything for work? Not for the money, right? He's doing it because he wants to make a difference in people's lives. He wants to teach other people, and he's teaching other people how to make a bigger difference in other people's lives. He's teaching people how to build their legacy. So he's got his legacy. Now he's helping other people build their legacy. So
I'm sorry, keep going.
It's game changer, world changer, life changer when you start looking at where am I at? And okay, now that I know that, I know what I need to work on next. And money is secondary to that. Of course, when you have enough, money is secondary to that.
Okay, and we got a couple minutes.
It's about money.
We got a couple minutes left till we got to wrap up. And you said something. I want to ask you a question on this. You talked about the first phase is get the money. The second phase is get my life back, essentially time. I always call it my life.
Yep.
In there's a phase, and you've somewhat mentioned it, where I might not be exactly there financially free yet.
Yeah.
But I'm really damn close. Here's my question. Do you know exactly what you need to do to get there?
Oh, me? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Do you want to share that? Do you want to I'm going to share what I need to do. And I just trying to get our thoughts out to other people. You don't have to.
Sure.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah. So I need to do more of what I'm already doing. Right.
What is that?
So this is the key. A lot of times, a lot of people are like, I need to do something different. It's like, no, sometimes you just need to do more of the same thing. Right.
And what's that going to get you?
We want all the fresh and the new and the fancy and the like. Sometimes it's just a 1 degree shift on the thing you're already doing and continuing to do the things that you do well and continuing to do it at a better level. And then what happens is by continuing to do what you're doing, the thing has that multiplier keeps on going, right? Yeah. So it's like, all I'm doing is adding 1, right? And I add 1, now I got 2, and then you add 1 more. And like, it's the exponential thing. It's like, I just double every 6 months. Okay, well, dude, at like 20-year mark, it's, exponential growth. Like Einstein said, the most powerful thing in the universe is exponential growth.
Yes.
It's
it's compounding interest.
Compound interest, right? In anything, right? So it's allowing that to compound is where I'm at right now. So more of doing this, more influence, getting better at the connecting and doing influence. And then for me also, I've got I dabble around in RevShare now, which being on the growth team, that was really hard to do because of the conflict and perceived conflicts. Now, not being on the growth team, being VP of training, I have the ability to have that to build with that.
Oh, well, welcome to the 20th. Welcome to the 20th of the month
club. Instead of helping everybody else build their dream and freedom, I get to build my dream and freedom also. So playing around with that. So in the course of doing what I'm doing, that's just also ran. It's like, hey, if you're racing the car, I'm racing the car with a bow on it now.
Well, I asked you that question because when I work with a lot of people financially, there's a whole bunch of first mental gaps and then the actual physical gaps. And I've got my life to the point where I'm not sure if I just quit now, if I would be good forever. I got wife and kids and college still. And I don't know. That's the scary part. I don't like, if I was single guy, I'm there. I'm see you guys later. Like I'm good. But my wife wants me to still work. So what goes through my head is, what do I need to do to ensure I'm good? And I've literally built a platform. I got 43 rental properties and they're doing in a really good place. I got a handful of years till those things are paid off. And once those things are paid off, it's like it's there. Like the light at the end of the tunnel. I am the light now.
Cash cow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. So for everybody, I ask that and I share that to say, more than likely where you're at right now, you have no clue, but just start building some stuff. And as you get closer, you'll be able to see it and see it and see it. So
yeah, I think the phrase that people say is like, well, believe it when I see it. It's like, you'll see it when you believe it, right?
Yes.
It starts with belief. And get clear on the belief. And then once you get clear on the belief, then say, okay, what steps do I need to do to make that happen? And I think the beauty is in the drudgery. Because everybody's like, well, I want this to feel exciting. It doesn't always feel exciting. Like, dude, I've been married 32 years. It doesn't feel exciting every day. I jokingly say, like, been married 32 years, 26 of them happily.
Yeah.
My wife's like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Like, hell, I don't even like myself 100%. How can I possibly like you 100%?
Yeah.
So understanding that, like, there's no such thing as perfect, and good enough isn't settling. Good enough is what's going to really get, like, that's pretty, it doesn't have to be good enough a settle. It's good enough is like, this is pretty damn good. Keep doing this, right? It's like, by the way, you come over to my house, the pork shoulder, I can do a pork shoulder that'll knock the damn sock up. And you know what? I don't have to mess with that recipe. That recipe is freaking good.
Yeah.
I can freaking nail that thing. It comes out good, right? It's like, sometimes enjoy the recipe. Stop messing with it. Because I think people just feel like they got to fiddle and fiddle and fiddle. Sometimes just like enjoy the hell out of the spot you're in. Enjoy where you are. And you don't have to keep fiddling.
Yeah, well, you're up in Detroit. I watched Motown, and at the very end of Motown, I was studying it for a conference. Motown was it was the all black community, and there was one white guy in the community. Kurt Shewa actually told me why this white guy was there. I won't get into that, but I remember him because he had white hair, I believe, the only white guy in the whole film. And at the very end, he was in charge of all the sales. He said one thing, Russ, I'll never forget, and I think this will be my ending word to everybody here. He said, I wish we would have enjoyed the journey more. We were always rushing through it.
Totally.
And he goes, I wish we would have enjoyed it more. And I just thought, and I still think that I get goosebumps. I'm like, where am I not enjoying this enough? Like, this is it. This is the good time.
Yeah.
No matter, this is it. And so, yeah.
Enjoy today. I think that's the thing, right? It's like when I do this, I will just like enjoy today, enjoy the process, enjoy that. Like that's me building a bass guitar now. I enjoy the individual steps instead of when I get this done. It's like enjoy the shaping of the fingerboard and enjoy the detail piece and enjoy the final and enjoy the putting the fret. Enjoy today and the thing you're working on. Enjoy that, and you'll live a beautiful life.
I love it. Well, we got to get you out of here. I don't know the next time I'll see you, brother. I might see you in Detroit. I might see you in Salt Lake City, but I'll get you. I got a big old hug for you when I see you. I appreciate you. Love hanging out with you. Thank you for your time today, Russ.
I love you, brother. You're an amazing human being and somebody I'm privileged to call a friend.
Thank you, brother. I'll see you around.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Winning Twice. Each week, we drop a new episode with business owners, entrepreneurs, and high performers. We talk about life, vision, success, failure, and what it really takes to win professionally and personally. If you want to listen to more episodes, visit my website, austinchevron.com. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode of Winning Twice.